Mornings have a rhythm. You can hear it, feel it. And at Quaker, we fuel it. With 100% whole grain oats and a good source of fiber in every bowl, helping you turn that rhythm into your soundtrack for a great day. Fuel to start whatever's next. Quaker, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 26.
Here's your report.
Oh, thanks, Jane. I wish I could hire someone just like you.
Try LinkedIn Hiring Pro. It's more than a job board. It's like the recruiter you always wished you had. Hiring Pro uses real-time insights to match your role to LinkedIn's unique network of professionals and delivers a short list of best fit candidates. You'll spend less time sorting applicants and more time talking to the right people.
Let's do it. You're irreplaceable, Jane, but another you would be great.
Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
I got a call from a guy whose flat top had died on Friday night, right in the middle of his rush. He panicked the next day and went out and signed an equipment lease with the very first thing a salesman put in front of him. He didn't bother to look at the numbers, and then the payment hit. And then he realized the payment was 9% of his gross revenue. I want you to hear what I'm saying. 9% of gross revenue, not profit, the top line. That's not a financing decision. That's a financing mistake. And sadly, it's one that I see food truck owners make over and over. Because when equipment fails, you stop thinking clearly because you're in a panic already. You're thinking about, oh my God, I got to get this fixed before tonight, tomorrow, the next day. Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I'm the Executive Director of the National Street Food Vendors Association, which is a nonprofit dedicated to education, advocacy, and uplifting all food vendors. Before we get into that buying, leasing, or loan and how to finance your food truck equipment, I want to remind you guys I'm going to be in Austin, Texas this year on August 4th and 5th as a part of the Food Truck Owners Expo. I'm going to be giving 3 classes. I'm going to be out on the main expo floor where you guys can join me and share all of your successes with me and my team in the National Street Food Vendors Association booth. If you'd like to attend, again, August 4th and 5th, go to FTOexpo.com, place your order for the tickets today. When you do, put in the code NSFVA for a 15% discount. So let's talk about my friend and that 9% he now no longer has in his pocket. The thing about financing equipment is it's not a one decision. It's 3 decisions. And most owners actually only ever consider one of them. Whichever option the salesman mentioned first, that's the one they go with. You have 3 decisions: to buy outright, to take a loan, to take a lease. 3 different tools, 3 different costs, 3 different effects on your capacity to operate. Most food truck owners pick the lowest number they see. It's either going to be the lowest payment or the lowest down payment. And they don't look at the total cost and then what that payment does to their cash flow and their break even. And that's that cook mindset that I talk about a lot. We have some amazing cooks out there. We don't have a whole lot of amazing operators. A cook thinks, I can afford this. An operator thinks, what does this payment do to my break-even point for the next 3 to 5 years if it's a payment? And then the most important thing is, how quickly does this piece of equipment earn back more than it costs me? Those are 2 completely different questions. Can I afford it is not the same as what does this do to my business? And they're going to get 2 different answers. So let's break down those 3 options. First option, pay cash. Makes sense. There's no interest, there's no payments, and you own it outright, which means you could turn right around and sell it if you wanted to. That sounds like an obvious winner, except now that cash isn't in your business account anymore. So when that slow month hits in February or January or whenever your slow month is, you don't have money to get through. Or what happens when you have a second breakdown 3-4 weeks down the road? Now you have no money to fix that problem. And you're probably more stressed and will make a bad decision there too. Or how about payroll that you owe when you get a big event that's rained out, but you still have to pay your people? Paying cash for a $6,000 or $8,000 piece of equipment feels responsible and can still be the absolute wrong move if it drains your operating cushion below the point you need to survive a bad month. People always say, don't go into debt. Those are people that are not real business operators. I have only met one company, I'm sitting here thinking, one company that pays cash for everything. They buy their land outright. They buy the building and build the building outright. They pay cash for their inventory. They've been around since the late 1800s. So you'd think they'd be huge. They're not, because paying cash for everything is slow. Now, they're a stable business and they don't owe a penny to anybody. It's a great bragging right, but 99% of the country has no idea who they are. If you want to look them up, it's called Dodge's Store. I worked for them about 18 months. They're a convenience store located in the South. So cash has a capacity. It has a capacity to absorb a surprise, but I'm telling you right now, equipment is going to break down. So it's not a surprise, something you need to plan for. Option number 2 is just getting an equipment loan. You borrow against the equipment is your collateral, and then you own it once you pay it off. That means it could be repossessed if you don't pay it off. As of this year, well-qualified borrowers are seeing equipment loan rates anywhere from 6 to 15%, and that's through banks or SBA-backed programs. Those terms usually run 2 to 7 years. If your credit or your time in business isn't there are other alternative lenders that will still say yes, but those rates are going to be way higher than you want to pay. Sometimes into the 20s, even low 30s. That's the trade-off. Banks are cheaper, but they're slower. Alternative lenders are faster, but they're way more expensive. Either way, the loan builds equity slowly, and you'll eventually own it at the end of the term. That matters a lot for your balance sheet, and it certainly matters if you ever go to sell the truck, because you have a loan that has to be paid off if you sell the truck before the loan is paid off. Option number 3 is leasing. It's a lower upfront cost. Sometimes you don't even have to make a down payment, and you're not tying up your own capital. You're using somebody else's money, which is awesome. But you're also renting the use of the equipment. You're not building equity into it. And over the life of the lease, you're going to pay way more than you would have in financing had you done the exact same type of loan. Leasing makes sense in one specific situation. The equipment that changes faster than you generally expect to upgrade in a few years. So what am I talking about? Like POS hardware. That stuff can become outdated quickly, so leasing it makes sense because you can stop the lease and get new stuff. You don't want to sign a lease that forces you to stay leasing it for years beyond its usable lifespan. That's just dumb. So you lease things that are going to change rapidly. You don't lease a flat top because it's just a hunk of metal with some heat underneath it. It ain't going to change. That flat top you could run for a whole decade. A 5-year-old POS terminal is often obsolete. So match the financing structure to how long the equipment's going to be useful to you. That's the real test, not which one has a lower monthly payment. So if you lock in that leasing of a POS system for 2 years, I don't have a problem with that, because most likely it'll still be completely 100% useful to you 2 years into it. But if you lock it in for 5 years, I guarantee you by year 3, there's so many new updates you'll wish you had the new stuff, but you're still stuck with the old stuff. Now here's the piece that a lot of people don't even consider. Whatever option you pick, that payment is a planned cost. It's part of your break even. It's the exact same thing that we do whenever you're setting up your business. And all of the things that we're talking about apply either if you're in operation today or you're just thinking about it. You still need to know what every expense is going to cost your business. So it's planned into your break-even point. You got to understand that math. It's not some vague future obligation. It is that new fryer that you're buying or that new flat top. If it costs you $300 a month, that's a new fixed cost. You need to reevaluate against all your other fixed costs, because what is it going to do? It's going to raise your break-even point. It's going to raise the number of guests you need to be able to make money. If you don't know what that number is, definitely don't go buy anything. Do your break-even point first, and then see what the impact is of that piece of equipment. If you can't answer how many more guests does it take for me to get to be able to pay for this fryer every single month, you don't really know if you can afford it, because it could create a number you can't possibly either handle through marketing or you can't handle through the capacity of your food truck. Because yes, you have a hard capacity. You can't work harder because a food truck can only produce so much food an hour, and nothing changes that. Before you finance anything, do this. Pull the last 3 months of sales and calculate your exact break-even point per guest. Those are real expenses, and those are real numbers, and you can figure out how many guests it took for you to break even. If you're not breaking even, you can't afford it. And you got to be honest with yourself. And if you are beyond break even, which means you're profiting, you need to know what it takes in addition to keep you at that same level. It's not a cross your fingers and hope kind of thing. Second, take that monthly payment you're being quoted and divide it by the number of guests that you already have shown it takes for you to break even. That way you know how many more additional guests you need. And then once you're satisfied with the business being able to cover the new payment, then you're going to get at least 2 financing quotes before you sign anything. Get one from a bank, one from an SBA-backed lender, get one from an equipment-specific lender, but get at least 2. Compare the APR, which is the annual percentage rate. You don't want to look at the monthly payment because a lower payment stretched over a longer term costs you more money, and that money is coming directly out of your pocket. And here's the one that people skip. Talk to your accountant before you sign anything. Equipment purchases can be written off faster than you expect under the current tax rules, which is a big deal. Helps save you real tax money, and that changes the cost of buying versus leasing. Talk to your accountant. Get real information based on where you live and based on your situation, not some old guy on a podcast. Then you want to verify the rate and the terms with the lender. Point those out to your accountant before you sign to anything. Your equipment's going to fail. I've said this on other podcasts. I say it in live classes. I'm telling you right now, something you own is going to break down. It's going to fail. That's not an if. That's a when. The owners who get hurt are the ones that aren't prepared for that inevitability. And then they have to make a bad decision on the fly and then end up regretting it for months, if not years, if they even stay in business as long as the contract is for whatever they end up buying. Don't ever let yourself get under pressure. Don't ever let yourself follow the salesman's timeline without running the numbers back through your own break-even point. Just slow down, run the math, and make the equipment earn its keep instead of just crossing your fingers and hoping. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding everything helpful that I do, please do 2 things for me. Number 1, like, follow, subscribe, whatever your platform wants you to do. Do that for the podcast so you'll know the next time a live show goes up. Second thing, go to nsfva.org. Join our association today. You get all kinds of recorded classes I've already given. Plus, we have a live class every Monday night. On Tuesdays, we have 2 hours worth of coaching at 2 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and it's Central Time. You can bring your problems to me, and we'll get you an answer. But you got to join. $19 a month. You're not going to find a better deal.